Hello. Hello and welcome. So, welcome to this morning's live. We are talking about the 5 yoga myths that might be standing between you and the yoga practice. And I know exactly what it's like because so many of my clients come to me with those ideas. And when I first started, to be honest, I had some of those ideas as well. I did not really get what yoga was about. So, the very first thing that most of my friends, or when I talk about yoga, it's two things that people come up all the time with is I'm not flexible enough and I'm too old to start. And the first one is the whole I'm not flexible enough. And it's that idea, and that makes me so mad because you see all of those yoga magazines or yoga on YouTube or on TV or anywhere like that on social medias. And it's always those very young, very flexible, usually very pretty, usually wearing very skin-tight, beautifully fitting yoga clothes, which is great, but that does not represent the majority of who does yoga, And it can put people off. I mean, I love yoga and I read yoga magazines, but, I can see some of those pictures and thinking, oh my God, I can't do that. And I've been doing yoga for 13 years now, but that's not the point. The flexibility is almost a byproduct of yoga. Because yoga was created originally as a way of uniting the body and the mind. That's what yoga means. Yoga comes from the word to yoke, which is union, which is to bring together. And yoga is a holistic way of approaching your body and your mind so that it all works together. Because we are not just our physical body. You know that, You are your emotions, you are what you think, you are your dreams, you are what makes you you. You are not just flesh and bones, you are not just the person who might be able to touch your toes or not, or who might be able to, balance on one leg or not. That is just one part of you. It is the most obvious one, it's the physical part, it's the one we can relate with so much more because it's there in front of us constantly. But you can't say that yoga is just that. Yoga is not a way to improve your flexibility. Yoga will improve your flexibility because it does that, because these are mostly stretches and they will improve your flexibility. But don't let the whole I'm not flexible stand in your way if you want to give yoga a try. When I started yoga, my forward bend stopped with my hand at the level of my knees. It could not go any lower. I was that unflexible. I started yoga because my doctor told me, you've got anxiety, which I knew, and yoga is going to help you. And at that point I was, yeah, fine, I'll try. Anything I'll try because I want to feel better. And in a way, all of those I'm not flexible enough, I was feeling so bad within myself that didn't even come into the equation. I just wanted to feel better. And I was perfectly happy to go in a class, and, well, not perfectly happy, but I didn't really mind going in a class and not being flexible, not being good at it, because I wanted to see what it could do for me to make me feel better at a more holistic way, at a more holistic level of feeling better in my mind more than in my body, really. So if you want to start yoga and that you feel that you might not be flexible enough, really it does not matter. It doesn't. When I teach yoga, any of my classes, I have a whole variety of ages and abilities, and all of the poses that are taught in yoga can be adapted to pretty much anybody, any circumstances. So the flexibility, yes, it is an obvious side effect, as it were, of yoga, but it definitely is not a prerequisite to start yoga. So I'm not flexible enough to start yoga. Please do not let that stop you. You do not need to be flexible to do yoga. Believe me, you really don't. The second one, that usually comes hand in hand, funnily enough, is I'm not young enough. I'm too old. And I was talking to a friend of mine last week, and she's younger than me. She's in her 30s still, so she's younger than me. And she was telling me, oh, but will I be able to do yoga now? Is it worth me trying? I'm in my late 30s. And I was, oh my God, of course it's worth you trying. it doesn't matter how old you are. Yoga is there to help you feel good at all the level of your being. The age at which you start really does not matter. Some of my clients have started yoga in their 60s and they're loving it, they're getting so much from it. Age really is a number, nothing, no more, no less. And it really doesn't impact at all your ability to do yoga or not, and your ability mostly to benefit from yoga or not. Because again, yoga goes past the physical, past the flexibility, past the how old am I. It is about working with your body and with your breath to get you to a state when you feel good, when you really feel that you are yourself. Because that's something that used to happen to me quite a lot, is that I used to feel like there was me, but then there was something in the way of me really being me. And that something in the way tended to be negative self-belief, I'm not good enough, what's the point of me trying, there's so much better, all of those things. And that stopped me. I was stopping myself. And yoga, personally, it's helped me to kind of move past all of those. So, age irrelevant, yoga goes much further than that. Yoga is really a way to work with your body in whichever age or level you are, so that you can start being the best you that you can be. And that means moving past the fears, the negative self-belief, the patterns. You know, yoga developed that ability in you to observe yourself, to say, hold on, why am I doing this? Why am I thinking that? What can I do about it? And age is irrelevant. You know, it's a journey. I really believe that self-growth is a lifelong journey. If you want to feel good, if you want to be happy, it's not a case of, okay, I'm 45 or whatever age, I'm good, I'm done, I can rest now. It doesn't work like that. Our body are made to move, our brains are made to learn. And I'm reading a book at the moment called The Source, which is all about the brain neuroplasticity, which is the fact that no matter how old we are, we can learn new things. You know, it used to be that we believed that once a child reached adult age, the brain had grown, had developed, and that was that. But now, brain scans have proven that it's not the case, that as long as you're alive, you've got the potential to learn, you've got the potential to change, you've got the potential to learn new things. So do not let age stop you. There is no, I'm too old to start yoga. There isn't. You know, I have taught children as young as 3. I have taught ladies in their 80s, and they all have got so much benefit from yoga. So age really does not matter. So that's the second thing. So I'm not flexible enough, doesn't matter. I'm too old, that's irrelevant. So do not let those two stand in your way. The third one I get is, I've tried yoga once, it didn't work. Or I've tried yoga, I hated it. I can understand. I've tried yoga classes which have left me feeling achy and uncomfortable and sweaty and really not good about myself. But yoga is so diverse. You know, there are a huge amount of different styles of yoga. In those styles of yoga, there are hundreds, if not probably thousands, of different yoga teachers, different yoga style. Maybe you've tried a yoga class that didn't work for you. It might have been the style of yoga, it might have been the teacher that you didn't really gel with. I had a yoga teacher I used to go to every single week, and then she stopped teaching for a few months. So I went to another class, which was a different style. It was Vinyasa yoga, which is a much stronger style of yoga to what I'm used to. And oh my God, I went to one class, and that was enough, you know. I did not feel good. The holds were too long. I was conscious of all my body, all my muscles hurting and being uncomfortable, and I didn't feel nourished or nothing. It did not do anything for me. you've got hot yoga as well, which has Bikram yoga, which is quite popular. And I know some of my yoga friends rave by it, they love it. You will never see me in a Bikram class because I just do not like the idea of being sweating in God knows what temperature and humidity level to do yoga. I understand the logic behind it when they explain it to me, but it's not my thing. So if you've tried yoga once or twice and that it hasn't been for you, but that is still nagging at the back of your head that, or that yoga thing, maybe it'd be good for me, try something else, You don't have to sign up for months with any given yoga teacher. Go to a class, especially now that most of the yoga teachers have got online classes. Try a class. If it works for you, do another one. If it works for you, carry on. If you try one, it doesn't work, then try something else. Don't let that stop you. Yoga is so diverse. There definitely is a yoga for you. If you're attracted to yoga, there's a reason. There's probably a part of you that's kind of feeling, yeah, I kind of need that. Then just do a little bit of research. Ask questions, contact yoga teacher, ask them questions about what they do, about their style of teaching, about what a class involves, anything that you feel a bit insecure about. Ask, experiment, try, and I'm sure you'll find something eventually that suits you. So if you've tried yoga before, it wasn't for you, it might more have been that class or that teacher that didn't work more than yoga as a whole. So don't give up on yoga and maybe look into it a bit more and try something different. Okay, so I'm not young enough, not good. I'm not flexible enough, that's not valid either. And I've tried yoga once and it didn't work. That probably was either the style of yoga or the teacher of yoga, of that particular teacher that didn't work for you. Now, the next one that I tend to hear sometimes, less and less, not in my community to be honest, but I've come across it, is that yoga is just stretches. Yoga looks like stretches, I'll give you that. And a lot of athletes use yoga stretches to complement a much more dynamic or a much more strenuous training. But a yoga class is not just stretches. A yoga class will involve, yoga involves the body, of course. It involves the breath. It involves working with your mind through visualization and affirmations. And it involves relaxation, which is so, so, so important for our bodies, because we cannot just keep going and going and going. At one point, the body needs to relax. You need that balance. And a yoga class goes past the stretches. Of course, there are stretches, but those stretches are there to help you reach different parts of your being. The stretches are there to affect the way you breathe, affect your energy level, to even shift, and more importantly, to shift sometimes some energy blockages. Because as we go through our life, we can, a lot of things happens every day that get stuck. We get annoyed, we get stressed, we get angry, and all of that gets stuck in the body. And that creates blockages that stop your natural energy to flow. And that puts you a little bit in disagreement with yourself, as it were. It's creating some kind of breakage of blockages between you as you know you can be and how you feel. And just a stretch is not going to do anything about it. It's just going to stretch the muscle. But a yoga class, the movements of a yoga class are designed to release those blockages and to free the energy again. And the direct result of that is that you feel more energized, you feel less tired, and then you start being more positive, uplifted, so it affects the whole being. It's not just a body stretch. So yoga is more than a stretch. And on that same level, another thing that I sometimes come across is that yoga is just another kind of exercise. And it's often presented like that, isn't it? I can see that sometimes on websites that say, oh, try some gentle exercise, try yoga. Okay, fair enough. yoga is a gentle form of exercise. It is. But as I've just said, it is much more than just a gentle form of exercise. It is a whole body system. It affects the physical body, it affects your breath, it affects your energy level, it affects the way you feel. All of that gets affected and gets influenced by a yoga class. So it is so much more than just an exercise. So these are those 5 yoga myths that I come across. So the first one tends to be one of the most obvious one. I am not flexible enough. As I said, I can completely understand why you would be thinking that, because in the media, yoga equals super flexible people bending themselves into shape of pretzels, but that is not what yoga is about. So do not let that stop you. The second one is, I am not young enough. I'm too old. That's not true. Age is irrelevant. What yoga does for you is something that you can benefit from at any age. At any age, we want to feel happy. At any age, we want to feel good. We want to feel calm. We want to feel confident. And yoga can get you there by working holistically on the body, on the mind, on the breath. Yoga can, at any age, be positive and empowering for you. So do not let age be a problem for you. And if you're concerned about it, then talk to a yoga teacher, like my friend did last week, because we're talking about her joining my classes. And that was her first question. It was, do you think that there's any point in me starting? I'm in my late 30s. Of course you are. Of course you should try. So if you're in any doubt, if you found a yoga class, if you found a yoga teacher, but you're thinking, oh, really, can I do that? Reach out to the teacher, give them a call, send them an email. If you're in any doubt, if you want some direct reassurance for your particular circumstance, and any yoga teacher will be more than happy to reply to you. But I'm telling you right now, age does not matter. So do not let that stand in your way. Third one is, I've tried yoga before and it's not for me. It didn't work. It didn't help. I didn't like it. If right now you still think that you might want to try yoga, then keep looking into it. Maybe find a different style of yoga. Try a different teacher. When I first started yoga, I was just incredibly lucky that the first class I went to was just perfect for me. But it's only then, afterwards, that I started looking, that I realized how many different styles of yoga. And I know 2 of them, as I said, that I really don't really agree with me, definitely. But experiment, see what works for you. And then objection, myth 4 and 5 go hand in hand. Yoga is just an exercise. Yoga is just a stretch. As I just said, yoga is much more than that. It is a holistic way of feeling good. A holistic way of being your best, most confident, calmer self. So these are your 5 yoga myths, debunked, thrown on the ground. They do not stand in your way anymore. And if you'd like to actually experiment with all of that and experience what I'm going on about, I keep going on about that holistic approach to your well-being and making you feel good and making you feel calm and making you feel confident. If you want to try that, join me from the 26th to the 30th of April. I'm running a 5-day body and mind reset. It's going to be 5 days where you're going to get a small yoga practice, then we'll have a live session, and you'll get a lovely, pretty little workbook to go with it as well. And in those 5 days, you're going to learn how yoga works so brilliantly at making you feel good. Because when I look back, when I started yoga, I was anxious. I had anxiety, severe anxiety every single day. I didn't like my body. You would never have seen me in front of a camera if I could avoid it. I did not like myself. I felt I was not good enough. Basically, my self-esteem was, rock bottom. And I started yoga because I wanted relief from my anxiety. That was my main thing. And yoga did that. But on top of that, yoga has given me so much more energy. I am so much happier, so much more positive. And it's completely changed my life. It's bordering on magic, the way it has helped me feel so much better. And as I did my yoga teacher training, and as I learned how it works, and it all fell into place, as I started saying at the beginning, we are more than our physical body. And yoga has got that wisdom of working with all the layers of the body. And during those 5 days, from the 26th to the 30th of April, we are going to be working with those 5 layers. And we're going to see how they all go together. And how, by working with every single one of them, you can influence everything. And you can get yourself to feel calm, to feel confident. You can get yourself to get the energy to go after your dreams, to go after your goals. It's amazing. I haven't yet found something that yoga hasn't helped me with. So if you'd like to know more about that, if you're on Instagram, there is a link in my bio. So click on the link and you've got that 5 days body and mind reset. If you click on that, you'll be able to join. If you're on Facebook, at the top of my Facebook page, you've got a post that has been pinned there with a link. And if all else failed, you can head over to my website, treelightyoga.com, and there it will get you directly onto the page with the information on that 5-day event of to really transform your life through the power of yoga. So, on this note, I wish you a lovely, lovely day. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask me, by all means, send me a message, put a comment. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Lots of love. Bye-bye.